Hey everybody, what's going on? Fallout here, and today we are taking a look at Asylum because the Trials of Osiris map this weekend is Asylum, and I wanted to go over some map strategy, some movement, and some general overall tactics for the map that can help you go flawless. There's a couple ways to look at the map, and you can either look at it as left versus right, or you can look at it as top versus bottom. And we are going to go over and start with the top, because in my opinion, this is the power position on the map that you want to hold. Now, if you're spawning on this side of the map, this is A territory, and if you're spawning by A, you have two choices really. You can push in through bottom A, or my personal favorite, you can push up to top. And the reason that I like this is because that when you push top, you have two options. You have the immediate door right here, and you have the far door at the end of the A hallway. The reason that top of Asylum is such a vital part on the map that you really want to hold is because when the map eventually goes to time, if your team is playing against a really defensive turtle team, the zone that you need to capture to control and win the round will pop up right here on what we refer to as B territory. If you're pushing down from bottom A, you have a neat little table right here which can give you some decent cover and let you pop up behind it, giving you a good shot at the upper railing. You don't have a really spectacular angle, but the additional cover can be helpful if you're pushing from this angle and the enemy team has pushed out into top territory right away. Now, if you happen to be spawning on this side of the map, this is C spawn, and this is a remotely challenging position to push into top middle from because unlike the opposite side, there is only one door up top and it's easy to get congested right around this area. If you have a sniper or a gun with good range, you can probably head over here to C staircase and try and pull off a head glitch. That is always pretty helpful. And there's another spot that some people forget about, and it's this spot right up here that you can jump up to, and you can aim out into top territory to try and get some control, and the enemy team will have a relatively difficult time shooting you back from right here. Okay, so to make sure that your team doesn't get entirely congested when everyone pushes into the C cubby right off the bat, you can have someone come down here and push through the garage, because pushing through the garage can give you direct access to the B staircase. Now you have to be careful because the enemy team might be right on top of the railing, and they could push into B territory really quickly and you could get killed from above. Again, it's still a pretty good idea to occasionally have someone push down from garage just to make sure that you're keeping your opponents guessing, and make sure that when you're approaching from this angle, you are very aware that the enemy team could potentially be pushing you from lower staircase on the A side. So be aware of that angle. If you're going to push this angle, make sure you have a good amount of cover, and then when the time comes, you can push up the staircase and take top control with your team. So aside from top control, which again I very much recommend because I do believe it is the power position on the map, your team can push down to the bottom area of the map, which I like to call water, but I know that some people refer to it as the atrium. And remember that you can push down here if maybe the other team is being way too aggressive. You can head down into the water in the atrium, maybe to regroup. And while you're down here, you can kind of aim up on the railing. Just make sure that you are very aware of not overexposing yourself. You want to try and use the cover on the left or the right to your advantage. Now, if you're down here in the water, there is an area that you can go to for a really crafty, clever kind of shot, but you have to be very careful because it's really easy to get nailed while you're up there, but the other team might not expect it. Final thing to consider is that when the heavy round comes, the heavy is going to spawn down here. Now, if you are pushing from A side, you have to be careful because even though you have faster access to the heavy, you are kind of pushing it from down low, and the enemy team will be pushing you from very likely up on top B behind the railing. And when you're down here, you're pretty vulnerable to grenades. Make sure you're using all the cover you have available to you. You have cover by this wall over here. You have additional cover from the table right here. And if you can make it into the heavy room real quick, you have the cover provided right here. But again, you have to be very careful when pushing from this angle, and it's usually a good idea to have somebody push from up top just to divide the enemy's attention while you're down here trying to pull the heavy. If you're pushing heavy from C spawn, you probably want to head into top middle right away and then use the cover of the railing while you team shot down on the A spawn, maybe throw a grenade or two while the enemy team is down there. You can also have somebody push down through garage because it gives you a really clean angle right here into the bottom A spawn. That's it for now, guys. Remember, on Asylum Trials, your goal is to secure the top inside map control because it is the power position. The territory will spawn right here, and if you have control of this area, you are forcing your enemy team's hand because they have to come to you. You don't have to come to them. Alright guys, well that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, please do me a favor by liking or subscribing, and please check out the video description for links to other stuff, like my Discord chat, Twitch channel, and a whole bunch of stuff like that there. Hope you learned something. See you next time.